Hey, I'm Ken. This is our assignment 3 demo. We ended up going with El Gamma for the tool that we used. This was the recommended tool, and we looked into condition coverage for the other tools. We found that El Gamma is built on Jacoco, and yeah, so that's why it doesn't have that functionality. We tried to use code cover, we couldn't get it working, and so in the end we decided to use El Gamma as it's the recommended tool and it's built in. So to show the tool here in our expanded coverage, I'm going to comment out the one test we did with range, and then I'm going to run the coverage. So this is the same range test we had for assignment 2. Now the 3 coverages we're using are branch, line, and method. So I'm going to show you branch here for range. And so the 5 methods that we test are combine, expand, scale, shift, and expand to include. They're all at 100% except expand to include, which is at 83.3. If we look over at our range test, we can see that it's not covering this portion, right? So now let's take a look at the line coverage. So we head over, look at the line coverage. I'm going to go look for range again. So here we are, combine, expand, scale, shift, expand to include. Again, expand to include is at 85.7%. So looks like, again, we're not grabbing that. But let's take a look at our branches. So let's go find range again. And here we are. So we have 100%, 100%, and 83.3. So I actually think I showed that before, so I'm going to show method coverage. And so if we look at our method coverage, we're at combine, expand to include, scale, shift. We're at 100% for everything. So there we're covered. We know that. So let's take a look. If range equals null, return new range. So that looks like we have to add a test to test when the range is null. So let's add that test. So here we go. We're going to add that test. And we're going to select it again. So let's check our range. Let's run this coverage. And let's start with branch here. And we'll go look at the branch coverage for range. And let's look at this. Oh, look at this. It's green now, so that's good. And we look over at our coverage, combine, expand to include, scale, shift. We're at 100% for everything. So that's good, total coverage. How about line? So if we head over to line and we look, combine, expand to include, scale, shift, 100% again. And if we look at our method, it's not going to change. They're all going to still be at 100%. Would you look at that? So perfect. That's it for the range class.
I'll be doing my portion of the recording here for group 23. I worked on this is assignment 3. I worked on the data utilities testing in assignment 3. So first off here, I'm just going to run the coverage here on the assignment 2 code. We've basically commented out here the assignment 3 testing we've written and carried out. So for now, again, we're just going to look at assignment 2 coverage. As you can see here, our data utilities file, our source code here is, in terms of lines covered, is 57.3%. And we can see up here in the top right that the source code here for this particular method, create number array, which is what I'm focused on, is not really getting covered at all. So we'll uncomment a test that we wrote to improve coverage on this method, create number array, and we will save and run coverage again. As you can see from the source code here, we've got much better coverage, and we'll go to the coverage tool output below for data utilities, and you can see now we've moved up to 61.5%. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Mo. 23. I'm gonna talk about the test case we developed to increase the coverage. Here, as we can say, we have the assignment 2 code, and we commented out assignment 3 code in order to show how we increase the coverage. We are using the JCOCO coverage tool in order to measure how much coverage we have. So if we run the code for the coverage for the assignment 2, you could see here we have data utilities. We have 57 percent as per for the line metrics, and we could see here that we have never covered this part of the code, create a number array 2D, and now we're gonna uncomment one test case that tests this specific method and rerun the coverage again. And here, if we go now to the source, the data, and data utilities, as we could see here, we increased the we increased the coverage for the line metrics from 57 to 62%. And you could see here on the right, we have better coverage for this piece of code. Thank you.
Hey there, I'm Hollis. I'm going to show you the increased coverage for one of our tests for assignment 3. Right now we have our assignment 2 test suite and code pulled up. Look on the right hand side, you can see the clone method has no current coverage, and the tests on the left are commented out. If we run these test coverages, it'll pull up on the bottom for how much coverage we have. So we can see the class altogether is 57.3 and the clone method is 0. If now we unhighlight this code, or uncomment this code, sorry, and run it, we'll see the new line coverage on the right hand side. Now that has changed, and if we check to the data utilities class, coverage has increased to 61.5% for the class overall, and specifically for the clone method to 50%. Thank you very much.